Welcome to Private Club Radio, your weekly source for industry education, news and discussion. Broadcasting from Tampa, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, here is your host, Gabriel Aloisi.
I want to remind you about the Membership Marketing Academy. I know a lot of your clubs had some difficult times retaining memberships over this pandemic, and of course, that's for very good reason. And by no fault of your own, you're probably left with a few less members than you had before this all started. Well, you know, it used to be that I could go out and we would do some one-on-one coaching or consulting, and we could go to your club and talk about the issues and develop a strategic plan for membership and marketing. Well, of course, those days are over. And also, seemingly the days of me being able to go into your town or city or region and hold an education session, those days are over. So again, we've all had to get nimble. What I've decided to do is create the Membership Marketing Academy so you could take my best education, learn from all of the resources that I've been able to put together over the years. And the Membership Marketing Academy is available at privateclubradio.com/academy for you to take a class and to learn my secrets, my best tools, my best practices on how to build and grow and retain a thriving membership. Retention now more than ever is right at the top of everyone's mind, and the tips that I'll give you in the Membership Marketing Academy will help you both retain employees and members. So make sure to go to privateclubradio.com/academy, see if there's a class there that you're interested in, and go ahead and share it with your membership and marketing director, your membership committee, if you need to do that, or just take the class yourself. Well, my next guest comes all the way from Bowling Green Country Club in Front Royal, Virginia. His name's John Stevenson. He's a ground maintenance equipment operator. He's got 20 years experience in the golf turf management industry, and he's worked everywhere from like exclusive PGA Tour event type courses all the way down to your $10 a round munis. So he's got a ton of experience in the industry. John, welcome to Private Club Radio, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, Gabe.
And the other thing I should say is I was trying to do the math on this, but you and I have known each other, I think, since, let's see, about 2000, not even 2000, 1993. That's when you and I first met. So it's been it's been a long time, man. It's
long time.
Was it 38 years, 28 years or something crazy? Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about golfer etiquette. I know this is a subject we haven't covered on the show, but I think it's one that's really useful for people who are going to be playing at private clubs and for members of private clubs to know, you know, like we're always out there together. You know, you see the guys that are out there, especially early in the morning, mowing the grass and getting the course in shape. Let's talk to us about some of the etiquette that golfers should be having with the grounds crew, John.
I mean, honestly, it's just, you know, I find it, like if I'm looking at you, okay, I know that you're hitting the ball, hit the ball. If I'm sitting, if I stop my machine, I'm looking at you, hit the ball. If I get hit, that's my fault. If I'm not looking at you, because we're constantly with our head on a swivel. If we're mowing up around the surrounds around the green, we're always looking back to make, you know, to see if play is coming. You know, just if we acknowledge you, go ahead and hit the ball. If we haven't, wait till we acknowledge you. I mean, I got hit 3 times last week.
You got hit three times? Wait a second. 3 times last week.
3 times last week.
How many times have you been hit in your career, would you say?
Oh my gosh. I couldn't even count.
Really? Oh my
it happens all the time.
Let's talk about the 3 last week. Like, what were the circumstances?
Oh, okay. So, let's see. I was on a surrounds machine. That's mowing up the surrounds around the green, around the bunkers, around the tee boxes. And I was up around the green. I was trying to finish I had one more stripe, you know, one more pass to make. So I acknowledged the golfer. I put my finger in there to say, hold on 1 second. And the guy hit anyway.
Of course, he wasn't going to hold on.
No, he did not hold on. And the ball bounced off my machine, hit me, and then proceeded to go up underneath the mower deck, and he lost a Titleist Pro V.
Oh, man, that's just $4 down the drain. So what was the guy's reaction, John, out of curiosity?
To be honest with you, I didn't stick around. I gave him a look and shook my head and just drove off to the next hole.
He probably had his tail between his legs too. Who knows?
But I do have a funny story about a time at Innisbrook when I worked at Innisbrook. It's way back in the early '90s, and I was mowing fairways, and there was a group, and we were kind of piggybacking each other. And they're playing, and I tell you what, this guy, he had on his, $600 golf shoes, his, $3,000 golf clubs, his $500 golf outfit, and a $2 swing. And I mean, this guy was going left, going right. So I'm on the fairway, and he's about to tee off, and I stop my machine right in the middle of the fairway, and he's hollering at me to move, and I didn't move. I stayed right there. And he hit, of course, sliced it over into the woods somewhere. And he came up hollering at me, you interfere with my shot, blah, blah, blah. I said, sir, the best and safest place for me on this course when you're hitting the ball is probably in the center of the green or the middle of the fairway.
Oh, I bet he loved that one. Oh, my gosh.
He didn't like that too much.
Jeez, you got to have cojones to do that, John. Well,
it's just pay attention. If we acknowledge you, it's really, it's more of the inexperienced golfers.
Yeah.
There are some of the guys that are just impatient and just want to hit. But, just if I'm turned and I'm facing you and I see you and if I get hit, then that's my fault.
Right.
But if my back is to you, just give us a chance to acknowledge you're there.
Yeah, and you guys got to do your job. That's the thing. And I'll tell you what, I've been a part of that golf maintenance group on Facebook, which I know you're in and you're active. I've been in that group now for 2 or 3 years, and it never ceases to amaze me, like the stuff you guys have to put up with. Never mind getting hit by balls, but like gophers tearing up a course or some sort of pest coming on or some disease hitting the greens. And I have such a newfound respect for what you guys put in. And
it's tough. It's tough, fighting, you're fighting the elements and Mother Nature. We have, for instance, we had a windstorm, a real bad thunderstorm come through and, dropped a branch right in the middle of a green, and there's damage there. You get equipment that blows hydraulic hoses. I mean, we fight tooth and nail. It's a challenge. It's not just, let's just go mow some grass. It's, it really is a challenge. And I mean, I love it. I would rather not, I wouldn't do anything else. I mean, I love it. There's nothing more satisfying than waiting for somebody to tee off, and then as they walk down from the tee, they say, "Hey, the golf course looks great." I mean, that's what we strive for, and in the industry, and I just, I don't want to do anything else. But you're right. There's anything from mole crickets to skunks that tear your golf course up, and it's a battle, a constant battle.
It seems like it can be really a thankless job at times, but like you mentioned, and again, just being on that group, I really see the passion and the dedication that the folks on the golf maintenance side really have for what they do and the pride they take in their work. What do you think could be done so that we can bridge some of the not animosity, but I mean, sometimes I got to think that there's golfers that come and sort of look down on the maintenance crew, or they think they're just in the way, like you said. How should people change their viewpoint, in your opinion, John?
I mean, honestly, there's like you said, I've been on private clubs, I've been on $10 a round clubs, and the biggest thing is, realize we have a job to do. Okay. If we just left for a week, that golf course would just go to heck. I mean, it would be ruined, and realize that we have a job to do, and we want golf. Obviously, if there's no golfers, we got no job. So it's just, a lot of times, in private clubs especially, members seem to, I guess I could say this because I'm not a superintendent, but members seem to have a turf management degree and know what's best, and
Sure.
a lot of times it's just, trust the superintendent,
Yeah.
He was hired for a reason. And, if he says something, you got to listen. I mean, I've never been on a golf course where I've had, a superintendent that didn't know what he was doing. I mean,
Right.
they go to school for 4-6 years. They know what they're doing, and, it's just respect his job and realize, especially on the courses that don't have a big budget, like my course, the course I work at, it's a smaller family owned course, not a big budget, like say Innisbrook, or I'm trying to think of courses in your area that, Bardmore,
Yeah.
they don't have that kind of budget.
Right.
And, that superintendent is doing what he's doing with nothing, he's out there scratching his head, and it's even up here in Virginia. I think is a little more difficult because we're in the Mid-Atlantic transition zone. We're too cold for warm season grasses, too warm for cool season grasses, and it's a constant battle. Pretty much, in the afternoons coming up in the next couple of weeks, I'm just going to be a human irrigation head. I'm going to be running green to green, cooling them down and keeping them moist because, they're just going to burn up if you don't do it.
What is the craziest thing that you've seen happen, or like what was the biggest challenge that you've had in these 20 plus years?
I would say I don't know the biggest challenge. One of the greatest things was when I worked at Bardmore. I don't remember if you remember when I worked there or not, at Bayou Club right there in Largo, Florida, when we did the reconstruction with Gary Cope came in and did the architect, was the architect for the reconstruction of Bardmore. God, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, probably early 2000s, probably.
Yeah, or like right around 2000.
Yeah.
So it was a challenge because I was still green, and I learned so much. We redid every single green, every single approach, couple fairways. I mean, it was amazing. I think the biggest challenge though for me was coming from Florida to up here, because down there it's year round. Up here it's seasonal and trying to find projects to do in the winter time. And, basically, that to me was the biggest challenge is moving from Florida to up here.
Right.
And learning, because the grass up here, this cool season grasses, we have the thick grass and the bluegrass. I mean, you look at it wrong and it dies. It's not like Bermuda where you can pretty much torch it and it'll come back stronger,
Right.
But I mean, it's a challenge. Any golf course is a challenge, and Florida has its challenges too because they deal with disease down there that we don't deal with. With the humidity, with the different fungus that can come in and destroy a golf course.
Yeah. Or a hurricane blows by and takes down 200 trees.
Exactly. Like I said, we were debris pickup, for the last couple of days when we had thunderstorms come through, and we had a nice sized tree punch a hole right in the green, and it's just, Well,
like I said, I've just been on that group, just seeing the pictures and hearing the stories. I'd recommend any manager in the private club industry go join that. It's called golf maintenance, right? Is that what it's called, John, on Facebook? Golf course maintenance. Just type that into Facebook. Join that group because, and maybe share some of the stories on there with your members, because I think if people see like what these guys have to go through on a daily basis, just like myself, there's a newfound respect that happens. Another suggestion that I would have, and I don't know if you've ever seen a course do it, John, but I'd love to see the members get together with the grounds crew. I mean, again, I think so often, there's member interaction with the wait staff and the people that work in the golf operations side, but very rarely have I ever seen a club, where there's actually one-on-one interaction with the members and the maintenance crew. But I think that would, again, give people sort of, share a bond, realize that these people are people. People like John, you're a golfer, right? You were out golfing last week, there's a lot in common to be had. I think that, it would behoove clubs to get together. Have you ever seen a club do that, John?
I have. A lot of times, obviously, your private clubs will have a greens committee, and they will meet with the super on a regular basis.
I mean, like the general membership,
Yeah, no, and that I have not seen, but that is a great idea.
I'd love to see that happen.
A lot of times, like, just a story. A member came to the shop one time. This is actually when I worked at Bartmore in Largo, and that was a semi-private. My U club was next to it. It was private, and a member came out to the shop, and I cut the pins that morning. And this guy was the guy, he was first out every day. Played every day. Kind of a pain in the butt because he played by himself, and he would always catch the greens mowers.
Sure.
And he came down, and he was all upset about how easy the pin placement was on the greens.
Really?
He said,
how easy they were.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like, you guys really need to take your time and make these pin placements a little. He's like, who cut these cups? I was like, sir, I cut the cups every morning. And I said, I guarantee you'll never come back down here again and say that. I cut the cups the next morning, boy, I tucked it behind. If there was a bunker, it was going. If there was a break, it's got to be a flag stick length off the collar. Just right at the tip of the. Yeah, we didn't hear from that guy again.
That's funny, man. That is funny. But I'd love to see that share that combine. I would love to see, honestly, how cool would it be if like the members, had a little cocktail hour type thing at maybe dusk with you guys, walk the course, kind of get some one-on-one inside information. I think that would probably make your jobs a lot easier because, again, they would see kind of what you guys do, what the thought process that goes into what you guys do. Anyways, maybe we'll start a trend here, John. That'd be kind of cool, right?
Yeah, it would. I know there one private course I worked at, like most private courses will have a member guest, which is like their biggest tournament of the year. And I know one course through that, the member guest is a whole week long tournament, and one of the nights they had the grounds crew come and
cool.
honor them and
that's
stuff.
Awesome.
So there are courses that do it. More courses probably should.
Yep.
I think, and it's just we do what we do because we love to do it. Very rarely will you find somebody in a golf course maintenance shop that's there just for a paycheck.
Right.
Most of the guys do it because they love to do it. And a lot of them, like where I work, everybody in the shop plays golf, so they do it for the love of the game too.
That's
and
awesome.
Although I'm horrible at golf, I love playing it. It's those 4 or 5 shots you make out there where you make a real good golf shot, they bring you back, right?
I was hacking it up the other day, and I managed to like chip in on 18, and of course, that's always makes you want to come back right away, right?
Right. Exactly.
It's true. There's always that one shot. Johnny, I appreciate it, man. It was great to chat with you. I hope we gave people a little bit more perspective on what's going on out there, and I hope you have a wonderful season up there in Virginia, man.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're in the Northern Virginia area, Bowling Green Country Club, Front Royal, Virginia, it's a hidden gem in the Shenandoah Valley. You'll love it. Come play our track. You'll love it.
Careful what you wish for, John. Thanks, man.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
Private Club Radio is brought to you by Concert Golf Partners, helping to preserve and enhance private golf and country clubs. Visit concertgolfpartners.com to learn more about the recapitalization process.